Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Roblox here. So we're checking in for episode 2 of the free-to-play account. So I've been at it for a couple of days now. I think this is technically day 3. I didn't record anything yesterday just because I didn't feel like I had a big major update. So Kale was level 40 yesterday, but he is now 5 star. So I managed to get Kale to 5 star. You'll see that my Deacon is still 4 star. And I kind of just wanted to go over a couple of the things that I've been doing, the tactics that I've been doing. So one thing I want to point out, you'll notice I am not opening my Primal Shard. Now the Primal Shard does give me a 16% chance at an epic, which is very tempting. However, I'm gonna hold on to it either A for a 2 times event, which will come. Plarium has announced that any 2 times events won't be happening for a couple months. Um, or I'll just hold on to it and get extra points during a summon rush if I ever decide to go for a fusion as a free to play or something along those lines. Because quite frankly, I just don't see the value in a primal shard. To I'll be honest, I have the similar point of view when it comes to void shards as well. Um, as I've played the game longer and kind of seen where value comes from champions and everything, um, I'm less and less inclined to burn void shards unless there's a guarantee or something going on my main account. Now on my free to play account, a void champion could be great. Like there's great, I could get a cold heart, which would be great. Um, Several void epics out there that would be great. Um, and of course a legendary as well. But I've just had my share of disappointment. We'll say that. So, um, for my free to play account, I'm probably we'll see what kind of help I need and if I'm going to pull these during a 2x event or not. There are a lot of great void epics out there. Um, I could pull an Ursula, right, as an example. I'm just looking through some of these. I know Andrisia is pretty good. Um, let's see, Sacred Order, epics. Cardinal would be huge. Lightsworn I like. Shamil got any of these void epics would be account changing. So um there are a lot of great void epics out there. So I might pull during a 2x event um for voids, but I'm still undecided. However, for primal shards, the reason I'm bringing up voids is because I feel like primal shards are very similar to voids in that regard. Um, I just don't see the use of a mythical champion, especially this early into a free to play account. I'm not going to be able to book the champion. Um, I just yes, one of the great things about pulling a mythical champion early on in your account is that you don't have to do any grinding on it. You just level it up and go. You don't have to farm food. You don't have to get a whole bunch of 5 stars to take it to 60. You just grab it and go, and that's probably the biggest value on a free to play account of a mythical champion. Don't get me wrong, they're good champions. I'm sure they're going to be upgrades for any account, especially, if I was to pull this and get a mythical champion right now, it would absolutely revolutionize my account. Pretty sure I would be able to completely finish all the way through campaign, probably up through brutal, uh, with one of the mythical champions because they're an instant 60. But I digress. That's maybe a topic for another video. For this video, we're going to talk about my free to play account and the progress that I've been making and the direction that I've been taking the account. You'll notice I'm very deep into my missions. I've almost completed the first chunk of missions here. Right now, I'm just have to upgrade 4 champions to level 40. Now, if we look at the champions that I have collected, a couple of things to note. I did, what's that one chick that we get early game? Is she Sacred Order? Yeah, War Priest. So you get a free War Priest when you play. I burned her really quick to get my Kale up. I War Priest is not a bad champion. She's great for a starter account. And honestly, if I had made if I hadn't made the decision to get rid of her, I probably could have progressed a little bit farther with her by using her. Um, that being said, for my account and what I wanted to do, um, I I sacrificed her to get Kale up to 4 star. So now I have Kale up to five stars. I just reassigned a lot of my gear between my Kale and Deacon off of other champions, and managed to get Kale much stronger, get him a lot more survivability, and I've made a lot more progress getting the max stars in campaign. So in normal campaign, I am all the way up to the Brimstone Path. I haven't done the first level of it. That's just because I haven't done it yet. There's no particular reason behind that. Um, so I have been able to 3-star everything except for stage 7, and that's just because Kale's only level 37. As I continue to level up Kale and get him over 40, closer to 50, we'll be able to do a lot more. Now, a couple of things I've done on Kale. I have spent quite a lot of books. In fact, I only have 1 book left, and I have that. So I am going to use that to get my Kale max booked. So I've spent quite a lot of books on my Kale. Um, you'll notice I haven't spent any of my epic tomes. I am going to be saving those for Clan v Clan. The reason I booked out my Kale is just based on where my account is. I don't think I have the luxury of waiting until Clan v Clan to book him out, because I need that power now. I need, otherwise I'm not going to get through the campaign and be able to get farming on other locations. So, I really needed to boost him up and build him out accordingly, and I did. Let's take a look at my entry level tournament, my novice tournament. There's no way I'm beating this guy on the novice tournament. One thing that I learned about the novice tournament that was kind of surprising is that the way you get points is actually just for clearing new levels. Yeah, you only earn tournament points for clearing each stage for the first time. Once you've beaten a stage once, you'll receive no more points during the tournament. So it doesn't matter how high of a dungeon I can do on a starter account. Or it only matters how high of a dungeon I can do. It doesn't matter if I repeatedly do that. So it's a really interesting point system because there are limited number of points. The only way you can consistently farm points, and the best way to win one of these tournaments is to spam the crap out of arena. Use all the arena that you can get and do. And that's how you can win one of these early tournaments. But 5,000 points, that's well outside my window. I could probably try and squeeze out a few extra points to get this rare tome, but I'm not worried about it. The main thing is making sure you get all these rewards. Winning this tournament is very valuable. Getting an extra ancient is huge, but I just don't think that it's something that you need to break your back over. Focus your resources elsewhere that's more important. So on missions, upgrade 4 champions to level 40. Now I've already, well, no, the only reason Kale was level 40 before I reached this mission, but he leveled down because I ranked him up. So he's about to hit that. So the other 2 champions that I'm going to take to 40, I'm going to take a War Maiden to 40, and then one of these Outlaw Monks. Now you'll notice these Outlaw Monks are 3 stars, and they have gear on them. Oh, that's why this guy was so slow. Okay, real quick, while I'm thinking about it, do I have any gauntlets with speed? I do. All right, we'll put those on him. Yeah, we'll use those ones. Okay. So he died in my clan boss run that I did earlier, and we'll get to clan boss here in a second. But you'll notice that I have leveled these guys up. I intend to level these guys up to 5 stars, and then sacrifice them for Kale to hit 6 stars when that time comes. Hopefully, I'll have replacements for them. Now, why am I valuing these Outlaw Monks so high? Well, let's look at their kit real quick. So, right out the gate, we have places 2 5% poison debuffs on the target for 2 turns. Couple of reasons this is so valuable. One, it's a places. It's not predicated on a critical hit or predicated on the hit. So there's just no weak hit involved, meaning that as long as their accuracy is good, they will land this ability. That's huge for clan boss. Okay, so and it's the strong version of poison and 2 of them. That's very valuable damage that you want to bring um, for clan boss. So I want these guys to be fast enough to take at least 1 turn before clan boss does. And ideally, I would build them to be rather healthy to survive a couple hits. I've had a lot of success with these on other free-to-play accounts. So Outlaw Monk is a great champion to help you get success in Clan Boss early. War Maiden is a character that I'm going to take up to 5 stars. I just have her in all speed gear. It was just decent gear that I had. You want her fast. You want her to land her decreased defense ability. So you want her to have accuracy and speed. I just happened to put her in speed gear. I would. This is definitely going to change. This would not be her final kit, but I did try to build Tiger Soul up because I liked her kit. Um, for a rare, she does bring 5%. She does bring the strong version when ascended of poison on her A1, which could be more consistent than an outlaw monk later on. So there's potentially some value from Tiger Soul for a clan boss champion. Um, so I might, but I don't really have room for her in my clan boss team right now. She could definitely replace one of these guys. So I might consider using Tiger Soul. She also brings Weaken, which can be very, very handy. I would probably turn off her A3 and just have her apply Weaken, and if ascended, apply these 5% poisons. So she does get a 60% chance when booked. So she's a decent early clan boss champion. Now, if I was to get other clan boss champions like Coffin Smasher or some others, I would probably consider. Well, I would most certainly use them instead. Everything else here is food except for Shield Guard. I really want to make use of Shield Guard for Minotaur. He's a great Minotaur farmer, and I could definitely see myself building him up. Now, right now, he is not built. He has no gear on him. I'm just not in a position to build him up the way that I want. But I do also have easy access to quote-unquote books for him in these other Shield Guard. So I will probably build one up and use him as a Minotaur farmer as I progress in my account. Speaking of Minotaur, if we do look at masteries, I got a handful of masteries on some characters, but I want you guys to understand what my recommendation and my plan is for masteries. You'll notice that I do have access to my gem mine. It is only level 1. This is how I go about a new account. First thing I do is level up the gem mine to its max level. And then the next thing I will use gems on is to get full masteries on my Kale and have him be my mastery farmer in Minotaur. So then I would use him to farm up masteries for like Deacon, and whatever better champions. I don't think I would really worry about farming up masteries on War Maiden. I'm not, she's going to hit 50. She's not going to be a big part of my account. But eventually Shield Guard would take over as my Minotaur farmer, as my gear gets better and everything. But Kale would be the first attempt. And I would then save gems to use elsewhere in the game. We talked about gear. We talked about my champions. We haven't talked about Clan Boss yet. Oh man, this is one of the like most difficult things for me to remember is putting champions in this thing. And it's because of how I play the game. Um I keep putting champions in there and then being like, "Oh, I want to level them up now. I don't want to wait." So this is I'm a big fan of the sparring pit on my main account, but without the proper resources to keep it going, it's really just more of a nuisance. Okay. So on campaign, I think I told you guys I just unlocked Brimstone Path. I can't 3-star this guy. I've tried a handful of times. I'll probably go through here just to get access to that void. And then hopefully unlock the next level so that I can farm on a hard difficulty instead of leveling up my champions on normal because that's very slow. We talked about I've booked out the Kale just to get that extra power boost, so that he can start because I'm gonna be getting him to the point where he's gonna solo content here. So as far as my farming right now for my 5 stars to get him up to 6, these are 2 that I would get up to 5-star. I would probably 5-star and sacrifice the Tiger Soul. And then I don't have any other champions really right now, but any one of these food can eventually get leveled up to a 5-star and sacrificed. I am not going to touch my Deacon Armstrong. I am not going to 5-star my Deacon Armstrong until after my Kale is 6-star. Couple of things about my decision on Deacon Armstrong. So I did check in my previous video. I mentioned promo code and choosing to get Deacon Armstrong instead of Deliana. While I still agree with that decision, it hurt me in the early game to do so by quite a bit. So Deliana being a 5-star out of the gate would have helped me progress much further early on. Because I was unable, so because of my methodology to fully focus on Kale and not on my Deacon, it would have been valuable to have a 5-star champion that can run alongside of Kale. That being said, long term, I truly believe Deacon is the better champion to have picked because Deacon is going to open up a lot of resources for me when they matter. Right now, all the speeds are so low that I don't get any value out of his aura. I still use his aura, and my characters are fast, but their speeds are so low that there's never a situation where I'm able to get 2 turns to every 1 turn of the enemy waves. It's just not possible right now. But later on in the game, when my characters are, 180 and 200 speed, I'm going to get a lot more value out of Deacon and his turn meter fill as well as his aura. So I will say that similarly, you could get that value out of High Katoon. So you get the turn meter fill as well as the increased speed, and then on a separate ability, you have a chance to decrease the turn meter. Now, if we do look at my Deacon, it's a guaranteed decrease, increase of your turn meter and decrease of the enemy turn meter. And oh my god, I need to ascend him. I did not realize this grants an extra turn. I've been complaining about this dude's kit forever, being like, this ability is great, but I don't gain any value out of it because of the speeds. But if I ascend him, well, that's my next goal, is to get him ascended. How far can I ascend him? See, this is right here is bringing me back to one of my points about why rare champions are so valuable. You'll see, like, right out the gate. I mean, one more run in Magic Dungeon, and I can ascend him another star. But Deacon, I am far from being able to get these resources and Ascending Deacon. That is going to be my goal. As soon as I finish this video, I am going to start trying to get the materials to Ascend Deacon while also leveling up some food. But yeah, that the resources that you need to commit. You know, if you look at this is a fully booked up Kale. Whereas Deacon, I would only be able to put 3 books into. And if we look at how many books he takes, like he likes to read, he's a lot. We got 7 here, 6 here, so what, 13 books? 14, 15 books. 15 books. That's a lot. And these just are not that common. So like if I was to have leveled up my Deacon first and took him to 6-star, I feel like I would be handcuffing myself. And you'll also notice I don't have any legendary books. So had I got a Deliana, I might not even be able to really gain maximum value out of her. So all of these are just, you know, small things, but me looking at this as a long-term account, trying to maximize my value, I do believe that that Deacon was the right choice. It just hurt me a lot in the first 2 days. But now that Kale's leveling up and he'll be 50 soon enough, that's going to expand a lot more value for me. Then if we go now, especially once I ascend him, that is going to open up huge opportunities for me. Anytime you get extra turn champions, that's going to do a lot for you on Clan Boss. So if we look at my Demon Lord team, I used 3 keys and I was able to get 1.21. That is the maximum chest on easy. This was done. You'll notice Kale was 40 on my last attempt. Not even a 5-star yet. And then we come down here to normal. And on this attempt, he was 38 as a 5-star. You'll see the monks are in there doing some damage. They haven't changed their levels. And then I didn't have the War Maiden leveled up or geared when I did these runs. But a couple of things that well, I'll talk about in a second, I guess. But this key was pointless that I used here. It's not even enough for minimum. I didn't realize it was my 4th key. I thought it was my oh, yeah, I got an extra key. So I will put another key in here and hopefully be able to get a double dip on this chest. And since I'll be leveling up and hopefully ascending him today, I should get some more value out of this team. And hopefully get maybe an adept. I won't be able to get a warrior chest, but I might be able to get an adept chest. So that would be nice. But at the very least, I want to get at least this. These are both called adept chests, and that's stupid. But I at least want to get this chest right here. Now, moving forward into tomorrow after reset, I would likely start at normal now and try to see how close I can get to 3 million. It depends on how much damage I do on my normal run tonight. Or even my easy run. And because ideally, if I could 4-key normal, if I could 4-key the normal night chest, that's more valuable to me than this easy chest down here. And the reason being is that this is 3-star and there's 3-star gear, some 4-star gear, and then a 5-star, but it's uncommon gear. I don't want that. Or it's common gear, rather. I don't want that at all. If I'm going to get gear, I want it to be 3 or 4-star rare or epic quality. Now, if you look at this, it's going to be all 4-star gear, which, hell yeah, big thumbs up to that. There is this 5-star common artifact, which would suck if I got, to be honest. But who knows? Maybe it's speed boots, and then I could get some value out of it. But you'll also notice, like, hey, look, I'm looking to ascend people, right? I could get greater spirit potions. So the value here, even if I 4-star or 4-key this chest, it's still going to give me, in my opinion, a lot more value than what the easy chest is currently giving me. And the reason I'm bringing this up is if we're looking at some of the people that are doing easy, this is a waste of a key, sir. If you're able to do 23.6 million with an all legendary team, all ascended, and a 2-star awaken, you need to be putting that key into hard or brutal, sir. Uh, so and I think I realize that this guy Quad Love, I don't talk to, I don't see them in chat much. I don't think they understand the value of their team per se. Um, these are really strong champions putting out really that, if built properly and tuned accordingly, should be putting out a ton of damage. Definitely more than 11 million on normal. But like if you put that into hard, I mean you're almost one keying hard. Let's assume that because it's hard, you have to 2-key it. You're still getting way more resources that are better for your account than what you're ever going to get out of this easy chest right here. Like, if you have 5 legendary champions, if you're putting 3-star gear on these legendary champions, you need to rethink your life. I mean, you need to rethink your goals in raid. These are not the kinds of teams that should be seen in easy. If this is the most that you can accomplish with this team is easy clan boss, reach out to me, reach out to Zard. You need to reassess. Something's up. Either you're not using percent gear on certain areas, you're not hitting crit caps, you're not hitting the right stat targets, you're using the wrong gear, maybe you're prioritizing sets over stats. I don't know what's going on with your characters down here. But this team should be putting out a lot more damage in general. But regardless, they shouldn't be doing that damage in easy. So, you are going to see so much more. You're going to get so much more value out of doing hard or even brutal. If you could, let's say, so just for the sake of argument, let's say you have to 4-key brutal, max chest. Is this brutal? Yeah, brutal max chest. You're still getting 5-star gear. And you're getting 3 chances at it. And I feel like as a clan, we probably consistently clear brutal. So, you're talking 6 chances at some of this gear. Hell, the gems alone are huge value. Nightmare has a pretty steep gap, but if you're doing in normal, you did 11 million, and you need 40 million for the ultimate chest in Nightmare. I can't guarantee, but I would be getting in Nightmare and seeing what kind of damage I can do because, hey, looky here. Sacred Shard. I mean, I've got 7 Sacreds on my main account, most of which are coming from Clan Boss. So, I just when I looked at Clan Boss today and what my goals were for Clan Boss, I was seeing a lot of people doing easy and normal that are not, your priorities are not in the right spot. All right. Another thing that I preach often to you guys is prioritization of characters and like where you're going to get value out of them. So I'm relatively high up here on Dragon's Lair. And the reason being is that I'm building everybody with a clan boss focus, and Dragon's Lair is just clan boss. So I have not been in a situation yet where I'm comfortable just farming. And when I say that, what I mean is I'm not going to farm dragon until I get like a tournament. That's like, hey, farm dragon, get double dip. And so since I'm not at that point yet, I'm not farming Dragon. I've only done a handful of runs. But 3 to 4 star gear, I need that. I've got a lot of champions that are still, imagine if I could finish out this lifesteal set. That's going to be huge progress for my account in 3 to 4 star gear. But I don't want to put in a lot of this 2 and 1 star common gear. I really want to be putting in stronger gear on my champions. That's 4 star. Like this is a good, like it's an accuracy piece, so I probably won't use it for a minute. But that's a good piece. These are good pieces. I just haven't had the opportunity because it's a weapon and a shield. This is more valuable to my account right now. I don't really need to ignore defense, but these are good pieces that are going to go on my Sun Wukong, for example. And so I think I got this one off of Clan Boss. Like this is a decent piece. Well, probably not because I'm not going to be hitting crit cap and things like that. That's another thing too. That's a mistake I made early on. I have a piece of gear. I leveled up this piece of gear. This is, in my mind, this was a good piece of gear. However, I don't have the luxury. I mean, we're day 3, guys. I don't have the luxury of crit capping a champion. It's not gonna happen. Like I got close, and I don't need to be completely crit capped for, he only needs to be 85% on this particular ability. However, while crit capping is great, when I did get the crits, I still wasn't doing enough damage. Early game, you should be prioritizing attack, actually. You could make the argument that you could be prioritizing speed boot or attack boots over speed boots as well. But these double rolled in attack and crit rate anyways, and the extra speed has been very helpful for me. And it'll be even more helpful once I get the Deacon properly ascended. So, but yeah, that's been my account. I am focusing on accuracy. I'm going to level this straight up all the way to level 10 because we know we have a mission that needs to happen in. So yeah, so basically the next steps I'm going to 4-star and level up my War Maiden. Actually, I'm probably going to wait on the War Maiden and do the 2 Outlaw Monks first. Mostly because they're close. And I know that they're going to be food. I don't think I'd feed War Maiden. I probably will feed War Maiden. I spent a lot of time farming her because I wanted a decreased defense champion. And at the time, I didn't realize that this would be extra turn. But now that I know that I can give myself turn meter and decrease their defense all in the same turn, it really decreases War Maiden's value to me, who I really only wanted for decreased defense. So being able to do it both with Deacon means that I can bring somebody else into the fold there. So I might sacrifice the War Maiden. But those are future decisions, not today decisions. While I should be thinking towards the future, who knows what we might get. We might get a very weak epic sometime soon. We might that would be worth fooding. There's a lot of decisions to be made. But that's a summary of where the account is. Video is just a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. I was happy with about a half hour. We're at 33 minutes now. So I'm going to end it here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.